What movie caused you to have a WTF did I just watch moment after viewing? Prisoners, starring Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal. That movie was such a slow burner thriller, and once it ended, it was like WTF, but in a positive sense. This movie personifies the suspense category for me. Paul Dano is a national treasure. I love that movie because Gyllenhaal's character's name is Alex Jones, and there is a scene where a detective says, "Unfortunately, Alex Jones has the IQ of a 10-year-old." Swiss Army Man. I think Swiss Army Man was great, but it falls into the "what the fuck" category in a good way. Emo. Hank, because I'm just a scared, ugly, useless person. Manny, but maybe everyone's a little bit ugly. Maybe we're all just dying sacks of shit, and maybe all it'll take is one person to just be okay with that, and then the whole world will be dancing and singing and farting, and everyone will feel a little bit less alone. Hank, Manny, you have no idea how nice that sounds. The WTF part is that the movie makes this sound beautiful. I felt that way at first during the movie, but towards the end I was only filled with pure cathartic bliss. Rubber. For those who don't know, it's about a tire that uses telekinesis to blow up people's heads. And there's a tour group that spectates it and the guide tries to poison them. You never know why. And cops also try to hunt the tire. But can't catch it easily. Even though there are spectators to the tire. God, I was so frustrated with that one. I kept thinking, this is so fucking dumb, I should just get up and do something else, but I never did. I sat and watched the whole thing because I just had to know WTF I was seeing. I would watch again, but only with another person so I can watch them watch it. I think that's what this movie's real niche is. The kinda movie you wanna watch someone else watch. A Clockwork Orange. Do you mean A Clockwork Orange, or is this a weird porno? Is that on Pornhub, or was it an off-the-shelf rental that you saw? Some dude took my mom, who has an aversion to violence, to see this movie on a first date. He also brought his own mother. Needless to say, this man is not my father. Hereditary with the girl's head. That came out of nowhere. The way that the mother screams when she sees her daughter's body is messed up. The whole movie is unnerving. The mom at the end, man. Crawling on the walls, banging her head repeatedly on the ceiling and decapitating herself with a piano wire. Fuick. Have you seen Midsommar yet? It's directed by the same guy and in theaters now. It's not as scary as Hereditary, but it is every bit as fucked up. End of Evangelion. Evangelion, Episode 25 WTF? Evangelion, Episode 26 WTF? EOE, finally, I understand. Nothing. WTF? Congratulations. Just rewatched it today. I still feel as confused and as fucked up as the first time a few years ago. Sausage Party, I watched it with my mom when I turned 14. It was awkward. Come on, you go to a movie called Sausage Party with your mom. You were asking for awkward. Back in my day, that naked drawing scene in Titanic was the awkward scene to watch with your parents. I kept waiting for it to be funny. It never became funny. That movie called Mother with Jennifer Lawrence in it. God, that movie made me so fucking angry. Geez man, it's like that nightmare where you're yelling but nobody can hear what you're saying, personified. The biblical allegory was neat and all of that, but the fucking frustration I felt for Jennifer Lawrence's character was insane. Whoever thought a movie about rude houseguests could be so fucked up? Speaking of that last sentence, check out Funny Games if you haven't. This movie was so stressful. It's the only movie I've ever seen that elicited such an emotional response from me that I don't think I could watch it again. I just felt completely stressed, anxious, and confused through the entire film. Which frankly speaks volumes to its effectiveness. I didn't like it, simply because it distressed me, but I was impressed by it. It was goddamn effective. My dad and I went to see this a few months after I had a miscarriage. I cried the whole way home. What happened to the baby messed me up for weeks. Ever since that movie, my dad checks the parents' guide before taking me to movies. When I was like 12, I saw Rocky Horror Picture Show and thought it was the stupidest, dumbest, and weirdest thing I had ever seen. 13 years later I ended up playing Eddie in a Shadowcast production. It was awesome. We had to watch this at school in grade 9, I was 14 and lived in a very religious household where we didn't even watch The Simpsons because Bart was disrespectful. Rocky Horror freaked me the hell out, I couldn't work out what to make of it. Now in my 30s I don't want to watch it again because I can remember how much has weirded me out. Old Boy. The original one. The entire trilogy is WTF. I just watched this for the first time last night not knowing anything about it other than it was Korean, a movie about a guy seeking revenge after being imprisoned, and that I've heard from multiple places that it's really good. It's definitely a great movie, but damn just wasn't expecting all that at all. The Lobster. I was scrolling down waiting for someone to have posted this. All Yorgos Lanthimos movies that I've seen have been like this. Super blunt dialogue, great cinematography, but they end abruptly and leave you wondering what it all means. 100% Midsommar. I was curious so I looked up the Parent's Guide. At 2 points in the film, female pubic hair and period blood is consumed. This is more disturbing than sexual. We see a tapestry that shows this as well. Okay, what the fuck? Dude. A friend of mine talked me into seeing this with him. Immediately after, we went to dinner with friends of ours and had to, pretend to be normal, friendly, average people that hadn't seen this mindfuck of a movie. The more time that passes since I've seen Midsommar, the more I love it. I didn't find it immensely shocking as much as simply heavy. And the ending was somehow comforting? I loved it. Fantastic film. The movie Dead Girl. 2 high school boys discover an imprisoned woman in an abandoned mental asylum who cannot die. She's something like a zombie girl tied on a bed. I am seriously not sissy by watching wicked shit, but when they started to drill holes into her body, to penetrate them with their little wieners, I just turned off the TV and was traumatized for the rest of the evening. I'm traumatized just reading the last line. Who the fuck comes up with such fucked up ideas, Jesus Christ? She starts to stink and ooze so badly they don't want to bang her anymore. You missed nothing. How do I delete someone else's movie? Enemy, directed by Denis Villeneuve and starring Jake Gyllenhaal. So damn weird. Oh hell yeah. The ending scene for that one nearly melted my brain. Gummo, specifically the bathtub scene where the kid's eating spaghetti while his mom washes his hair. What's your spaghetti policy here? There's bacon taped to the wall. That's what threw me off the most. Abducted in plain sight. Yes, 20 minutes and I was thinking they already got to the meat of it, but boy was I wrong. How the dad just jerks off his friend. Those parents were absolutely horrible. Or what the title should have been. But wait, it gets worse. Was that the one where the dude hooks up with both the parents and then convinces them that because he's a pedophile that sleeping in a bed with their young daughter was what the doctors recommended? 2001, A Space Odyssey. Some guy on Tinder once talked down to my sister by saying, "I bet you haven't even seen Space Odyssey," and she was so bothered by the statement that she made me and 2 mutual friends all sit down and watch it at a sleepover. We all got increasingly confused and frustrated as the movie went on, particularly in the last third or so. Then, right before the end, my sister said, "I swear to God, if he turns into a baby at the end of this, I'm gonna be so pissed off." Cue the space fetus. Fuck. This movie is bullshit. I watched this movie after seeing all of Kubrick's other movies and having put this off because it looked too out there. It's been at least 15 years and I still don't know what the fuck I watched. Requiem for a Dream. I keep telling myself it's just a movie, but then I know that somewhere out there, it's really happening. I feel like if they just show this to high school kids, less people would do drugs. It's a great movie, but so hard to watch. Skeptical smiley face. Primer. The definition of WTF did I just watch? An instant cult classic. I always tell people to take notes for keeping track of the timeline. It won't help, but you'll know that you're not the problem. Eyes Wide Shut. That movie was so weird all the musicians quit halfway through, so the producers were left with using the intern who lied about being able to play the piano. Rented it on my first official date with my now husband. Yikes. It was a Japanese film that I believe was called Suicide Club. Came here to put this. All the kids holding hands and gleefully jumping in front of the train. And that was probably the most normal part of the film. I feel like there is a lot of Japanese movies that are like WTF. Rosin is another one. Snowpiercer. It's a weird idea but I thought it was a great movie. Memento. I rewatched it immediately to put it all together. Watch it backwards on VHS. Dog tooth. I saw that in theater, and on my way back to my car, 3 different people that I didn't know started up convos with me just about how utterly bizarre that was. Fucking finally, someone said it. My friend made me watch it with him because he said, oh look, this one has such a neat concept, and I sat with a shocked face, expression throughout, and honestly after it ended it felt like I had never seen anything else apart from that movie. It just consumed my brain almost. Mulholland Drive. Not that I didn't love it, but I ended the movie and all I had to say was, wait, what? Came here to say this. I kept waiting for the plot to come together to really have an aha moment, and then the end credits started rolling. Tusk. Splice. Though I am normally one for off-the-beaten-path movies, this one just left a bad taste in my mouth. The acting felt dull and the story wasn't necessarily bad, it was just odd. It felt like some guy's sci-fi sexual fantasy followed by his own guilt. Splice studio exec to scriptwriter, I like it and all but can he fuck it? Akira. Happiness, grade school kid asks his pedophile father, why don't you want to fuck me? We watched it at school when I was around 16. It was awful. After asking his dad about the boys he'd raped, the son asked, would you ever fuck me? Dad responds, no. I'd jerk off instead. And the boy breaks down. Later, the kid jerks off at an old folks' home and comes on the rail of the balcony overlooking the pool. The family dog laps it up before going inside and licking the mom on the mouth. 5/7 would watch it again. Being John Malkovich was wired and more than a bit unsettling. Audition. We need to talk about Kevin. That movie ripped me apart on so many levels. Kids. As a young teenager I thought it was an awesome movie because it's about a bunch of cool teenagers getting fucked up and having sex. As an adult I think it's a very sad movie about a bunch of stupid kids getting fucked up and having sex. Not a movie but the first episode of Black Mirror. Don't really want to watch any more of that now. Donnie Darko fucked me up. Pink Flamingo, keep in mind that I'm an old fart, so, find this movie and watch it. My promise is that it will not disappoint. The Men Who Stare at Goats. Militarized. Hippies. Dark City. Martyrs, the original. Eraserhead. I've never seen another movie like it and I can't tell if I like it or not. I Spit on Your Grave or Last House on the Left. The rape scenes in those made me super uncomfortable. Bad taste. Peter Jackson started out doing weird low-budget stuff before Lord of the Rings. Meet the Feebles as well. The Room by Tommy Wiseau. I seriously can't believe I finished that movie. That movie was so hilarious. It was like it was made by extraterrestrials who heard vague secondhand descriptions of what humans are like and then went and made a movie about it. Scrolled too long for this. I can't take it anymore. Or, it's not true. I did not hit her. I did NAAAWT. Oh hi Mark. The House That Jack Built. Or Tusk. Enter the Void. I've never had a movie drain me so completely and I just had to go home and sit for a while.